So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how does it feel that your wife works at the same school with you?
Great question. It's fine. Like you would think that we see each other a lot, but we actually don't see each other at work all the time because she's like on the other side of the campus. We do share some kids sometimes. So they have me in 6th grade, then they have her in 8th grade. So that's kind of fun because then she makes fun of me and the kids understand it. So that part is cool. But as far as work goes, we don't see each other that often. The only good thing is like I don't have to like explain my job to her or explain something. Like if you tell something at work, they understand it. So that part's good. So it's not that big a deal. Like everyone's like, oh my God, you work together, is it? But it's not that big a deal. Like I said, we work together. We don't see each other all the time.
All right. My next question is, what is your favorite food?
Good one. My favorite food is I always like Italian food. So I mean, everybody says pizza, but pizza I've never get sick of pizza. So there's so many different kinds. So if I had to pick, it'd probably be pizza would be my favorite because there's so many styles of pizza and different places you can get it. So I would say pizza, pasta, and all that stuff. But like it sounds standard, but pizza is like the easiest one for me. Like if I can't think of something to get, I can get a pizza and I'll be fine.
Yeah, same here. Okay. What's your favorite type of science?
Life science and biology, basically. So like the study of life. So because it's the stuff you can relate to. It's the stuff you see every day when you go outside. So I like all the other sciences, but I think life science is the one that's easiest to teach as a teacher because kids can relate to it and it's easy to find stuff to like learn about. And I think when I was a kid, I enjoyed it the most also.
All right. And I have 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
How did you get into Star Wars?
Star Wars, that was... I got into Star Wars when I was younger. I went and saw one of the Star Wars movies when I was younger, and then I just got hooked, and then I had the toys and everything, so then I just never grew out of it. And then later on when I stopped, like Star Wars started making a comeback and there were all the new movies, so then I kind of kept with it. So every few years they've always done something new, so then I just kept it going.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you motivate your students?
Good question. I think now with distance learning, it's even harder. I always try to make things fun. And have them enjoy it, and you try to relate it to life as much as you can. I mean, some stuff you can't, but you try to make things relatable. You try to have things that they'll remember. What I've found is a lot of kids remember that stuff more than what I taught academically. Like if a kid's in high school and they come back and visit, they remember like the funny stories and stuff. So I try that. It's a little harder with distance learning because sometimes you have kids with their cameras off and they're doing whatever. So you try your best you can to still make it fun and try to think of fun games, online stuff, or just, talk to them. So one thing I try to do with distance learning is I try to really talk to them and get to know them outside of academically. So then you can kind of, build a rapport and then have fun with them. So most thing is fun is a way to motivate. And again, I think distance learning, it's harder, but you just try the best you can to make it fun still.
Yeah. And the last question I have for you is, how do you compare your teaching styles with others?
I think my style is just the thing that I try to do is I don't try to be like anybody else because they'll be better at being them than me. So for example, it's like, I'll do the same stuff that everybody does, but I'll do my style to it because if I try to teach like someone else, they're always going to be better than me because they're going to do their way better than me. It's just like, so I just try to take whatever it is and try to add my personality to it. So if it's something that doesn't fit my personality, I don't teach that way. I try to teach to my personality. So then it comes off more authentic, because if I try to follow a script of another style that's not really me, I don't think it'll come off as well for the students. So I don't try to copy anybody else and try to just do my twist to it and try to add my personality to it. And I always tell kids to do the same thing because nobody's better at being you than you, right? So yeah. That's the point. Yeah.
That's what I would do too. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Josh, man. I'm glad you're doing another great year of leadership. So awesome.
Have a great
Keep it up. All right. So stop. Okay. And where's the recording? I think it started. It started. Okay.
So the first question is, who is your role model?
A few role models. So like if I look at famous people, there was Muhammad Ali, who was a famous boxer, but he did things outside of boxing that were really popular. I read a lot of books about him when I was a kid. He wasn't boxing when I was younger. He was already retired, but I read a lot of books about him and learned about him. Bruce Lee, famous martial artists, who also, again, these are people I never really got to see because they were dead when I was alive, but not Muhammad Ali, but Bruce Lee, but I read a lot about him and studied him. And then my father was also a good role model for me. So I had a good example at home. So those are three major ones that I could think of.
How does it feel to be a colored teacher, and does it affect your teaching?
I don't think it affects my teaching at all. I think I just am who I am, but I think it probably, just being a minority growing up in America, I think I can relate to, if there's some people, who are a melting pot country, so I think I can relate to students of all different backgrounds and ethnicities. So I kind of don't pay attention to that stuff. So in that sense, it helps. As far as there is still racism and things in our country, so it's not as prevalent. You don't see it as often as you used to, but I can relate to it because I did go through that when I was younger, so I can relate to somebody if they were going through it. So I think it helps in that sense. But otherwise, luckily we live in California, which is pretty diverse. So we have, if I look at my classroom, we have all kind of race, ethnicities, and backgrounds. So it doesn't affect me in my day-to-day, but just probably past experiences.
What is your hobby?
Well, a few hobbies, but the one I'm really into during the quarantine time is running. I was into basketball and running and sports stuff, but when the pandemic happened, I haven't played basketball since, because obviously you can't social distance and play basketball. So running is actually a good social distance sport. So I've gotten into running. I was into it before, but now I'm really into it because I've had more time. So I kind of I ran a marathon right before the pandemic, the LA marathon, right before the pandemic started. And then literally that week after, school ended. And since then I've been training for another marathon that I'm going to run on my own at the end of December. So I've really dove into running, kind of become obsessed with it. So that's what it is right now.
How do you prepare for your marathons?
Just running every 6 days a week I run. So Monday's my off day, and then I run 6 days a week. And then there's different ways. So I'm doing it totally different than I did the last time. The last time I would go on a long run every Sunday and keep adding. So I went 10 miles and 12 miles and 14 miles and 16 and then 20, and you stop at 20. Now I'm kind of doing that and speed training to get faster. So I'm doing 20-mile runs every other Sunday. And then the other Sundays I do longer, faster runs. And then during the week I just do basic, shorter runs. So, and then miles per week is a big thing. So now I'm trying to run 60 to 70 miles per week when I used to run 40 to 50. So that kind of increased. So
that's really fast.
Yeah, trying to. I want to break 2 hours and 45 minutes this time. So we'll see.
Yeah, we finished.
Yeah. Is that it? Okay. Oh, a second.